everybody, this is Nate with another Backcountry beer review. Today we're in the Carlsbad Caverns National Park Backcountry. Specifically, we're at a spot that overlooks Double Canyon from near the head of West Slaughter Canyon. Today, the beer I'm going to be reviewing is from Bosque Brewing Company, which was originally from Albuquerque, New Mexico, but now has a location in Las Cruces, New Mexico. And it is their royally stuffed imperial pastry stout. Based on the can design, you can definitely see the association they're trying to make. And you know, the name itself, Oreos. But don't take my word for it, here's the back of the can. Royally stuffed. There's nothing quite so satisfying and delicious as twisting off the top of an Oreo and dunking it in cold milk. Now you can indulge in your inner child with Bosque's new imperial pastry stout, royally stuffed. The big chocolate flavors and creaminess derived from lactose sugar are reminiscent of everyone's favorite cream-filled chocolate sandwich cookies. So whether you dunk, twist, or lick, this rich and roasty beer is the perfect sweet treat for adult sensibilities. I'm pretty thirsty. I've definitely earned this beer, so I'm ready to give this one a try. All right, time for a sip. So I think it's a decent beer. I'm not gonna sit there and say I love it. Let's get rid of the elephant in the room right away. Does it taste like Oreos? I think that when you drink it at this temperature, there is like a split second right when it finishes going down your gullet where the flavor is sort of reminiscent of Oreos. But after that, nothing. Before that, really, like while it's in my mouth, nothing. I think what it is that like way after you drink it, it's just really bitter. Because, you know, I'm actually pretty surprised to see that it's 65 IBUs. And what that's doing to me is like Oreos, I mean, yeah, they're chocolate, but to me, Oreos aren't very bitter. So when I drink it, I'm getting more of like a brownie association. The initial note I'm getting is actually very heavy, like alcohol. And I typically don't really like that. It's sort of unavoidable with this style, right? You know, like imperial stouts. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of, from the lactose sugar, I think I'm getting kind of like a powdered sugar note. And I'm sure it does contribute to that creaminess that I'm, you know, when I say the split second that it tastes like an Oreo, you are getting that like creaminess. But otherwise, like if I'm dwelling on it, I'm really just getting like a kind of like a powdered sugar note. Both the sweetness and the flavor, because powdered sugar does have its own flavor. And then yeah, it just finishes bitter. And again, that doesn't really taste like an Oreo to me. So I like the attempt, and you know, there's only one way to find out if you think it tastes like an Oreo, and that's not to watch me say it doesn't taste like an Oreo, it's to go buy it yourself and try it. I think if they're trying to really go for the Oreo association, maybe a milk stout would have been better, because that's gonna be a lot less bitter, a lot less heavy, and not really have this like alcoholic and bitter note that I'm getting that distracts me from the Oreo flavor. Cheers, and have a backcountry beer for me. So I do have a story about Bosque Brewing. When I was an undergrad at UNM, my friends and I really liked to go to the Bosque Brewing on San Mateo, back when there was a Bosque location on San Mateo. And it was actually around this time, many years ago, because it would have been right after my birthday. And my friend's birthday is actually January 14th, and it was on his birthday. And that's important, because I'll tell you why. So I get in, I order a beer, bartender checks IDs, and he's like, "Hey man, happy birthday, you're just 21, congratulations." I said, "Thanks." And actually, on top of that, I've got a friend coming, and today is actually his 21st birthday. So both newly 21, both enjoying Bosque beer. My friend comes, bartender checks his ID. He says, "Hey, you know, your friend told me it was your birthday, but he said you were 21. This ID says you're 25. My friend turns to me and gives me kind of a look and says, "Haha, Nate, you're such a kidder." And then the bartender, you know, whatever, gets him the beer. And I was like, "What the heck? You're 21, what's going on?" And so, as it turns out, in New Mexico, we have very strict underage drinking laws. And most places will typically not take an out-of-state ID if you're around 21. It's stupid, even if it's perfectly legal ID, they won't take it. So my friend, just to avoid hassle, just used his fake ID, which I forgot he had. So the bartender definitely knew that something was up. He probably knew it was a fake ID, but because I was so exuberant about the fact that he was just 21, I think he figured like, well, he's 21 anyway, so why bother? But it was a pretty funny event, and yeah, good times. So hopefully you enjoyed my story.